Welcome everybody to Prolific Expression. Gotta do make sure everything checks in with this technicalities. You know how that goes. Making sure YouTube there's sound. Boom, boom, boom. I wouldn't just say ayo, ayo. All right. Yep, here we are once again. It's September 18th, 2023. And we are, man, once again, what to talk about today. And since I have no script, I just go off the top of my head or whatever experiences I've had. So let's go. There's a lot of people that have asked me about what type of books I've read or I read. And I'm real big on audiobooks. I have right now 25 titles. So you can see those. I always remember that you lower the light, boom, 25 titles, boom. I don't know if you can see right there, boom. I'm not going to read all of them. I'm just going to read a couple because there's some out there that, how can I put this? Maybe you have to slowly work yourself towards those books. Because if you read them right away, it's going to blow your fucking mind. Anyways, okay. Fire in the Dark. This is for men. This book will tap you in back to your primal male masculine energy. This is for all the men out there. Read Fire in the Dark by Jack Donovan. All right. And Becoming a Barbarian, Jack Donovan. And The Red Queen. That will show you what it means. How can I put this? The Red Queen is a book on how survival works with men and women. That one's going to shatter your reality too. All right, so The Way of Man, there's another one. And I'm going to keep the other ones, boom, boom. And let's see another one. I've obviously read the Cesar Millan's audiobook about dogs. That one's real good. L. Ron Hubbard, The Problems of Work. That's a really great book. I've read it. I've heard it on audio at least 3 times. And as a working man myself, it really is inspiring. So I highly suggest that book. And then Untethered Soul, Living Untethered, you know, the usuals. So let me see, what's another one? The Trap by David Icke. That's a really good book too. Anyways, those are the type of books that I have. There's way more that I have that I will not share. I might share if you ask me. However, other than that, you go find them yourself. So anyways, last week I spoke about not taking it personal. And I began to pay more attention to that with myself too. And I've noticed that when you don't take it personal, life is much better. When you don't take it personal, life is more understanding. When you don't take it personal, you don't get in your feelings. When you don't take it personal, you move fucking forward. Who gives a fuck? So not taking it personal, there's a book that talks about that. But like I said, only a couple guys hit me up about the book. I let them know what book it was. So in that book, it goes in depth on not taking it personal. And obviously it's hard not to take things quote unquote personal. However, if you're in this path, in this road, spiritual road, and you learn how to not take things personal, man, it's hard to put into words. It's like your mind gets to unlock more awareness in you, if that makes any sense. You know, sometimes that's words. Like for me, words are a lie. Anytime, I remember AZD saying this, anytime you speak with words, it's pretty much gone because everybody has a different definition for everything. You know what I mean? And another thing is don't make assumptions of, like, a great example is I could say, oh, life is hard. Okay, why is life hard? I'll give you my definition. Oh, life is hard because, look, let's put it this way. Everybody is going to have a different definition of life is hard. And that's why it's so hard or to understand when people use words. So an example would be life is hard. I'm saying life is hard. Why is it hard? Because there's so many lies. Because there's so many lies, because let's just leave it at that. There are so many lies and you don't know what's truth. That's my reasoning of life being hard. I mean, we all have our trials and tribulations. Life is hard because your loved ones die, or you don't know what happens after you die, or things like that. You know, life is hard because you can't make payments. Life is hard because you can't buy food. Life is hard because you can't do certain things. And then you ask the definition of how life is hard to, let's say, the Kardashians. Life is hard because I sound like a dumbass. No. Who knows if you ask them, life is hard because they don't know where to go eat or some shit like that. Life is hard because people are talking shit. Like if they took the what I talked about last week, don't take it personal, they'll be like, who gives a fuck? They're rich. They shouldn't even give a fuck what people say. Do not take it personal. I mean, come on. But anyways, I'll give you the definition of hard. Something that's very difficult to do, right? Boom. That's a quick definition. Now I'm going to see what the definition on Google says. Hard definition. And then I'll give you that. Boom. Solid, firm, and rigid, not easily broken, bent, or pierced. And what did I say? Something difficult to do. Now, if I ask another person what is hard, they'll probably give their own definition. Then I ask another person, that's their definition. Boom, 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 boom. And the word just keeps adding lies on top of lies on top of lies. And they, at the end of the day, what the fuck does that mean? And that's why it's so hard to understand people. They talk about one thing and you make an assumption thinking it's this when it's actually this. And it's, at the end of the day, this is the truth. So there's one side, there's another, and then the truth in the middle. So what the fuck does that word mean? I don't know, man. But that's why people use symbols. Look, I love symbols. Because symbols, they probably communicate. But even symbols, if you really think about it, because letters are symbols, you look at a symbol, you make an assumption of what it means. Let's do an example right here. It's pretty cool to do. Watch. All right, let's look at a symbol that a lot of people know. All right. Booyah, man. Booyah, booyah. There's some funny ass things in here, dude. All right. Deities. I'm a big symbol guy. Like I said, this book, 100 Symbols, The Secret of the Universe in 100 Symbols. I got another book of symbols, and I enjoy it, man. I enjoy it. Man, we're a symbol. What symbol does, by looking at me, the symbol of Jose, what symbol do you see? You see a quote unquote a man, a Mexican, blah, 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 blah. That's a symbol. That's how it is. So let me see. We got one here. All right, here we go. I spoke on, let me see. Man, it's because there's so many examples. I want to use one that everybody understands. A symbol that, fuck it. Hey, everybody knows this symbol, right? What does it mean? It means, you don't say it in YouTube land because it could how do you call it, get a shadow ban. All right, so let me see here. So yeah, this is a symbol, right? This is a symbol. What about what this means? Anybody seen Austin Powers? What symbol is that, you know? Oh man, I just laugh at shit like that because it's like it doesn't make sense sometimes to me. Like all the symbols everybody uses to communicate, and at the end of the day, everybody pays attention to the words without paying attention to the body language, to the facial expressions, to the nose, eyes, lips, whatever. You know what I mean? To their movements, to any of that. Like what when I'm sitting like this, what does that represent to you? What does it mean? It could mean like he's very focused, he's thinking, he's this, and that. What does it mean to me? I'm like, yeah, that's badass. For me, I'll be like, damn, that's badass. All right, yeah, okay, yeah, all right. No, look at that. What symbol is that? Boom. He's carrying a woman. He's taking care of her. What does that mean? Howling. What does Wolverine mean? You know, like the symbols left and right. So man. Anyways, so do not take it personal. Do not make some assumptions when someone is speaking. Ask questions, and that's one of the things I have to work on a lot. Asking questions, you know, because I always listen. I'm always watching the person speak, and then I always quote unquote make an assumption, which is one of the things we shouldn't do. Like, don't make an assumption. Oh, he's saying this, so it's blah blah blah. You make your own assumption, so you think it's that, and then if that's the case, I would probably be asking questions every minute, every second, every minute, every second. It's like you can't do that either. You know, like, hey, motherfucker, are you gonna let me speak, or are you gonna ask a question every fucking minute? You know, so that's another reason why it's tough for well, I'm gonna speak for me. For me, sometimes to ask questions because it'll be like, okay, you're asking one question, then it leads to another, then it leads to another, then it leads to another. So I don't know. Maybe that's why you still should not make assumptions. So if you're gonna ask a question, make sure you're it's because you really like you really don't understand, or you're making an assumption, you don't think that's what it is, or whatever, you know. So making assumptions is not the right way to go about when speaking. Like when you're having an argument with your girlfriend or whoever, you know what I mean, another man, he's talking this blah 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 blah, and then you're assuming one thing and he's saying another, and that's how you begin to take things personal too. You assume something, you know. Like a great example would be like I'll hit up one of the brothers, hey bro, you're going out tonight, and then he says, oh no, not tonight, and then I make an assumption, oh, that fool's probably getting that fool's probably butthurt, that fool's probably no weenie, that fool's blah blah blah. I'm making assumptions in my head why he doesn't want to go out, but that's not the way to go about these things. So you could either say, hey my brother, everything good, why don't you want to go out? But you know, it's I mean, when it's another man, like you shouldn't push it. I've had friends before, like, oh, why don't you want to go out? Like, shut the fuck up, bro. You're acting like a hyena, like a hina, like a girl, like a biatch. You know what I mean? Uh, so when another man doesn't want to do something, fucking just let it be, bro. Don't force it, shit. And yeah, so making assumptions. I'm all over the place today. I'm all over the place today. Just like these words, man, like fucking words, dude. What is the word? Bird is the word. I mean, every time that you know, there's a guy that I was listening to, I forget the guy's name. And it said the word, God began with the word. You know, so you start thinking about some deep shit, dude. If you really use your intelligence, because I think every single human being on this earth is intelligent. Every single human being on this earth has how do you call it, uh intelligence. They've gone through some shit and all this other stuff. So if you use your imagination, you will open your level of awareness to a level that you never thought was possible. And if you have a mentor or guidance that can help you or guide you, you will get there faster, and it will shatter your reality. What I've noticing with myself is that I'm beginning to communicate without communicating, if that makes any sense. I'm beginning to see people's communication towards the environment or towards me without communicating. Same with myself. I'm beginning to see that I communicate as I walk in to the environment without um, communicating, so it's a vibe. It's a vibe. Always be aware of what's going on. Do not be in your head so much. Do not take it personal. Do not make assumptions. When I walk in, sometimes when I'm working or whatever, and I walk in the restaurant, and some people get scared. Are like, oh, who the fuck is this guy? You know what I mean? So I'm always aware of smiling or saying hello or whatever, because like if you don't know who's coming in here, it's like, dude, you're gonna get shot at or crazy or things like that. So that's why you got to carry your vibe, and you have to be respectful to life. And I was speaking on this on my channel. There's another channel that I have where I speak in Spanish, where you got to respect life. So every living thing, respect the life in that living thing, not the thing itself, but the life in the living thing. Whatever, if that makes any sense. If it doesn't, fuck it, whatever. Ask me a question, and then if I could answer it, I'll answer it for you. However, like I said, always be aware of just respect your environment. Animals respect their space. If they don't respect their space, they're gonna check you. And humans don't do that. They're always up in each other's space. They're up in each other's space with words. Let's put it that way. Like, my mind is right there, and then you say something dumb or whatever, and then you didn't respect that space. You just gotta, like I said, not take it personal at that point, and know that they're at a certain wavelength that you're way up here, so you understand them better. So a lot of people being in crowds and all that don't respect other people's space. However, you respect other people's space, the environment will respect your space. Sheesh. It's just some deep shit. Man. Anyways, it's 9:21. I'm gonna end this already. It was great talking to YouTube land once again. Thank you for showing up to Prolific Expression. And this was my expression of my imagination, my life, or whatever you want to call it. And like I told you, words, man, I don't get them. I don't get the words, dude. It's like, si le hablo en español, hablo en español. Hablo en inglés, hablo en inglés. Hablo en français, je m'appelle aujourd'hui un, deux, trois. J'étudie en l'école. I studied a little bit of French in school. J'étudie en l'école de un, which means I studied French in high school 2 years, things like that, mushi mushi. There's so many languages, and it's like, what the fuck does all of this shit mean? Man, we could probably create our own language, right? Let's create one now. What did I say there? You know what? You can make your assumptions. However, I said something, maybe you'll understand it, or you're gonna make an assumption and say, "Oh, that's what he meant," or blah blah blah, or this guy's blah blah blah. But who cares? You know what I mean? Just have some fun. Don't take anything so serious. Don't be so uptight. Enjoy life. Life is beautiful, So if it's not beautiful for you, is because you haven't discovered yourself yet, or discovered that you're beautiful, man. Life is beautiful. And anything that has life, there's beauty in there. If you look deep inside. All right, my people. Thank you for showing up to Prolific Expressions. Be the best and fuck the rest. That's